Carson City, October 25th, 1861. My dear sister, I have just finished reading your letter and Ma's of September 8th. How in the world could they have been so long coming? You ask me if I have forgotten my promise to lay a claim for Mr. Moffett. By no means. I have already laid a timber claim on the borders of a lake, Bigler, which throws Como in the shade. And if we succeed in getting one Mr. Jones to move his sawmill up there, Mr. Moffett can just consider that claim better than bank stock. Jones says he will move his mill up next spring. In that claim I took up about 2 miles in length by 1 in width, and the names in it are as follows: Samuel Clemens, William A. Moffett, Thomas Nye, and 3 others. It is situated on Sam Clemens Bay, so named by Captain Nye, and it goes by that name among the inhabitants of that region. I had better stop about the lake, though, for whenever I think of it, I want to go there and die. The place is so beautiful. I'll build a country seat there one of these days that will make the devil's mouth water if he ever visits the earth. Jim Lampton will never know whether I laid a claim there for him or not until he comes here himself. We have now got about 1,650 feet of mining ground, and if it proves good, Mr. Moffett's name will go in. If not, I can get feet for him in the spring, which will be good. You see, Pamela, the trouble does not consist in getting mining ground, for that is plenty enough, but the money to work it with after you get it is the mischief. When I was in Esmeralda, a young fellow gave me 50 feet in the Black Warrior, an unprospected claim. The other day he wrote me that he had got down 8 feet on the ledge and found it 8 feet thick and pretty good rock, too. He said he could take out rock now if there were a mill to crush it, but the mills are all engaged. There are only 4 of them. So if I were willing, he would suspend work until spring. I wrote him to let it alone at present, because, you see, in the spring I can go down myself and help him look after it. There will then be 20 mills there. Orion and I have confidence enough in this country to think that if the war will let us alone, we can make Mr. Moffett rich without its ever costing him a cent of money or particle of trouble. We shall lay plenty of claims for him, but if they never pay him anything, they will never cost him anything. Orion and I are not financiers. Therefore, you must persuade Uncle Jim to come out here and help us in that line. I have written to him twice to come. I wrote him today. In both letters I told him not to let you or Ma know that we dealt in such romantic nonsense as brilliant prospects, because I always did hate for anyone to know what my plans or hopes or prospects were. For if I kept people in ignorance in these matters, no one could be disappointed but myself if they were not realized. You know, I never told you that I went on the river under a promise to pay Bixby $500 until I had paid the money and cleared my skirts of the possibility of having my judgment criticized. I would not say anything about our prospects now if we were nearer home. But I suppose at this distance you are more anxious than you would be if you saw us every month. and therefore it is hardly fair to keep you in the dark. However, keep these matters to yourselves, and then if we fail, we'll keep the laugh in the family. What we want now is something that will commence paying immediately. We have got a chance to get into a claim where they say a tunnel has been run 150 feet and the ledge struck. I got a horse yesterday and went out with the Attorney General and the claim owner, and we tried to go to the claim by a new route and got lost in the mountains. Sunset overtook us before we found the claim. My horse got too lame to carry me, and I got down and drove him ahead of me till within 4 miles of town. Then we sent Rice on ahead. Bunker, whose horse was in good condition, undertook to lead mine, and I followed after him. Darkness shut him out from my view in less than a minute, and within the next minute I lost the road and got to wandering in the sagebrush. I would find the road occasionally and then lose it again in a minute or so. I got to Carson about 9 o'clock at night, but not by the road I traveled when I left it. The general says my horse did very well for a while, but soon refused to lead. Then he dismounted and had a jolly time, driving both horses ahead of him and chasing them here and there through the sagebrush. It does my soul good when I think of it. Until he got to town, when both animals deserted him, and he cursed them handsomely and came home alone. Of course, the horses went to their stables. Tell Sammy I will lay a claim for him, and he must come out and attend to it. He must get rid of that propensity for tumbling down, though, for when we get fairly started here, I don't think we shall have time to pick up those who fall. That is Stoder's house, I expect, that Cousin Jim has moved into. This is just the country for Cousin Jim to live in. I don't believe it would take him 6 months to make $100,000 here, if he had $3,000 to commence with. I suppose he can't leave his family, though. Tell Mrs. Benson I never intend to be a lawyer. I have been a slave several times in my life, but I'll never be one again. I always intend to be so situated, unless I marry, that I can pull up stakes and clear out whenever I feel like it. We are very thankful to you, Pamela, for the papers you send. We have received half a dozen or more, and next to letters, they are the most welcome visitors we have. Write oftener, Pamela. Your brother, Sam.